All right, all right. Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Good to see all of you once again. So, good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us tonight, this evening at 9 p.m. for this special live session. Yeah, so I was just looking at the video that I just click on, and then wow, baby investor appears. So I'm like, wow, I kind of miss baby investor also, but today the platform, the laptop that I'm using doesn't allow baby investor to appear. So yeah, I hope y'all don't like wow. I thought baby investor is coming today. Wow, too bad, too bad. Okay, today is me. So yeah, just to make sure that you guys are able to hear me loud and clear as well. Can you just type in MON stands for Monday, Monday. Yes, we are at the start of the week, and I know that a lot of you can't wait for, like in some cases, some of you can't wait for 10:30 to market open so that we can take a look at the market and see what happened, later on. Some of you like, oh, I cannot see, everything is red in color. So I think it's very important, right? But let me just take a quick look. Okay, in fact, I haven't taken a look at the pre-market yet. So okay, the market is down. It's down. Yeah, for those of you who are expecting the market to recover, unfortunately, the market is going down pre-market. But let's see again what happened. I think less important is also discuss lah. Okay, discuss what should we do right now. And of course, later on, I will also be talking about one of the company that, and I think every week also appear one. So I went on to read a little bit more, and then just to share a little bit about some insights lah, into the company as well. But of course, for today, the key focus will actually still be what is the game plan. And I think my topic that I actually put in was stock versus options. All right. So right now, what method is actually more better? Okay, in current market situation. So maybe for those of you who are watching this right now, can you actually type in, okay, which method do you think is preferred right now? Stock or option? S or O? S or O? S or O? All right. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. You got angry face there. Must Han Quan must share why you angry leh. Angry must also got reason one ma. Just type in why you angry. Okay, so CS put stock, Eileen put options, Celine put stock, Kelly put options. So you can see everybody got different answer. So some is stock, some is options lah. Okay, later on I will explain. All right, and actually for those of you who have been doing both stock and options for quite a fair bit of time, I think pretty much you will be able to understand at what situation or what which actually instrument to focus on. Again, I'm not saying that if you use this, the other one is lousy. All right, but I would say that it works better, okay, at different scenario. Of course, I'm going to explain to you what I mean later on as well, so that you guys can actually have a better understanding, right? So pretty much, I think first of all, we have to understand that the market right now is still a little bit uncertain. Okay, the market is still a little bit uncertain. All right, if you agree with this sentence, can you just type in the letter U for uncertain? Ah, I see. Yeah. So this is exactly what happened. So I think last week I also talked about we are waiting for, even if you are talking about a confirm rebound, the confirm rebound is still not valid yet. Okay. So we are in the midst of whether is the market going to go down even more, or the market is going to rebound and form a higher low from here onwards. So this is something that I think it is still not clear yet. Okay, it's still not clear yet. So this is what I wanted to actually share with all of you. Yes. So first, I wanted to talk about this company. Okay, I wanted to talk about this company. Called. Let me just take a look. What is this company called? It's called C Limited. Okay, C Limited. Now I know a lot of you have been some of you, especially Singaporean, we all love this company because this is a Singapore company, and we are all familiar with the e-commerce platform as well, which is Shopee. All right, so like Shopee, Garena, these are all platforms that we are very familiar with, right? So of course, SE has actually caught a little bit of my attention. Main reason is because it has dropped significantly. So just to share with all of you how much it has fallen. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Yep. Ooh. Let me just see. Window, Chrome tab, entire screen. Okay. Just give me a moment while I open up another trading view. Yeah, using my laptop, so things are a little bit messier. A little difficult to maneuver, but just give me a little bit of time so that I can help you all to see the chart later on as well. Yeah, in the meantime, okay, let me know what do you think about this company SE. Do you think you are bullish, you are bearish, or you are not sure? Okay, I still need a 6-pin code. Okay, I see now a lot of authentication. Please enter 6-digit code from the code generator or third-party app. Nobody sent me anything. Okay, I need to go and figure out from your code generator or third-party app. Okay. Anyway, let me just share with all of you last. Okay, C Limited, okay, from the highest point, which is $371, right now it is at $94 lah. So you're going to do the math lah. Okay, it has actually fallen 73%. Okay, this particular stock SE, okay, has actually fallen 73% within a relatively short period of time, about 5 months. Now, so does it mean that this is actually a good time for us to enter right now? Okay, let me see some of the answers. I love C Limited, especially its discount voucher. Yes, bearish for now, 70% discount, and also die. Okay, yeah. So I think when we look at the chart itself, right, some of you will get a little bit negative, you feel like this company cannot make it anymore. So I think very importantly, I think like last week I talked about, going back to the fundamental. So you'll be surprised that even though the price keep falling, right, it doesn't mean that the company is doing bad. It doesn't mean that the company is doing bad. In fact, there are scenarios where the company is doing better and better, but because the overall market scenario is like, wow, there's war going on. I mean, we still have to understand that, in Singapore, we might feel very safe, but in other parts of the country, a war is going on, interest rate is going up, there's just a lot of things that's going on, oil prices going to $120. So these are all, huge, major macroeconomic situation that has actually, keep pulling down, it's like gravity lah. These are gravity that keeps pulling the stock market down. So again, like I said, there are opportunity out there. So I think first of all is we want to go back to the fundamental. We want to focus on the company itself. So I was actually looking at the quarterly earnings report of C Limited. Okay, yeah, I caught it. Okay, yeah, I was just looking at it lah. So I think something really caught my attention. So again, I put everything in my secret black box. No, not black box. In my black Facebook group, in my private Facebook group. So I'm just going to read it out. So I think first thing first, there's a couple of things, right, that caught my attention. Number one, I'm going to focus on the profitability. Okay, let's talk about the profitability of the business itself. So C Limited has got 3 main business units. Number one is, of course, the e-commerce, which we are all very familiar with. And the second one is the gaming. And the last one is actually the banking, digital banking. Now, the only one that is making money right now, okay, the only segment that's making money right now is the gaming. Okay, so in fact, the gaming has been doing very well because of this game called Free Fire. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it, okay. But again, I think when you actually go and read up, you realize that they're actually one of the best-selling game. In fact, they are the best-selling game, of all times. So it's like, yeah, maybe I'm a little bit too old, but actually before this, I have never heard of Free Fire before. But apparently it's very, very well received, and it has generated a lot of money for C Limited. So that is for the gaming sector. So gaming very, very profitable. But the problem right now is, okay, the digital bank is relatively new. Okay, and of course the e-commerce portion, like what Jackson mentioned, they give a lot of voucher. And again, you have to understand that all this voucher, right? So for those of you who are not sure about how Shopee makes the money and give out the voucher, right? A lot of the voucher is actually distributed by Shopee, not by the owner itself. So what happened is that, for example, today, I used to have a friend. He sells soju, on Shopee. Right. So what happened is that Shopee realized that nowadays a lot of people are buying soju. So that is like a very popular product. Okay, so what happened is that in order for Shopee to entice and attract more customer, right? What happened is that they actually have to promote the soju. And sometimes on your Facebook, for example, you surf Facebook and then you see like soju and all that, right? On top of the normal discount that my friend is giving, okay, Shopee actually distribute additional discount. So sometimes if you look at all these coin lah, additional 15% coin, 18% coin, these are not from the owner itself. Okay, the owner don't have to pay for all this. Shopee actually give out additional money, additional discount. In a way, why are they doing this? They are doing this to attract more people to use their platform. All right, and of course, I think one of the biggest person that got attracted lah, and now is kind of stuck lah, is actually my dad lah. Okay, so my dad never done shopping before. I never done shopping before. I never go online shopping one. Okay, because of COVID. So he hopped onto Shopee and never looked back. Okay, within 1 year, or rather within half a year, he reached platinum member. Okay, platinum member. Even right now, I'm only like silver member. Okay, yeah, my dad is platinum member. So everything he just go Shopee, buy every day sure got delivery one. So you can see that during this period of time they attracted a lot of all these people who are new to e-commerce, and they realize that hey, actually it is so much more convenient nowadays, especially if you talk about supermarket. Okay, in fact we talk about Sheng Siong and NTUC, they are doing very well, right? Okay, one of the biggest player that is coming in, okay, are actually all these e-commerce player. All these e-commerce player, they have their own supermarket. Moving forward, I would say maybe 20-30% of people buying groceries, they directly buy from Shopee or even Lazada as well, right? Lazada, they work with Redmart. All right, so for Shopee, they actually have their own Shopee supermarket. So that immediately will give them profit lah into this particular area as well. Now let's talk about the business back. Just now I was talking about. So if let's say Shopee is able to turn profitable in terms of their e-commerce, right, that will be something that will be very, very much amazing. So in the earnings report, they actually mentioned that, okay, two of their largest market, which is Southeast Asia as well as Taiwan, okay, they will achieve positive EBITDA, which is earnings before interest, tax, and interest and tax lah. So this is definitely good news. Okay, and remember, so far I think in Singapore, most of the e-commerce player cannot make money one. Okay, so it's very interesting. I just wanted to share a little bit of statistic. It is very difficult for e-commerce player to make money in Southeast Asia. However, okay, they are actually expanding their market into these two markets. One is Latin America, the other one is Brazil. Okay, the other one is Brazil. So why Brazil is such a good market, right? Is because there are actually this company called Mercado Libre. Okay, Mercado Libre. Some of you might be familiar with the company. The ticker symbol is MELI. So somehow or another, okay, e-commerce player in Brazil, it's easier for them to become profitable. Maybe they are not so savvy as Singaporean. Singaporean like to get discount, like to compare this, compare that before they make the choices. But over there, okay, if you are pretty much the one and only bigger player out there, everybody will want to buy from you. All right, so you don't really have to give them discount. So when you do that, okay, it's a lot more profitable for any e-commerce player out there. So that is also one of the reasons why, okay, Shopee is spending a lot of money to expand into Latin America as well as Brazil. So this is the growth factor lah. Okay, what keeps what will continue to push Shopee moving forward? Okay, to grow even more. This is for C Limited. And also, let's take a look at another interesting thing is that for C Money, okay, C Money, which is the digital bank, okay, they also mentioned that it is going to achieve positive cash flow by next year. So pretty much, okay, we look at the three main industry. The gaming is definitely profitable. Okay, the C Money, which is the digital bank, is going to turn cash flow positive by next year, which means that once they turn cash flow positive, a lot of things can be done from there on. Doesn't mean that they're profitable yet, but cash flow positive. And of course, for Shopee, in the Southeast Asia and Taiwan, they will achieve positive earnings. So if you combine all this together, right? Okay, I would say that overall they are quite a good news to the company itself. Now again, there are also bad news. One of the biggest bad news with regards to Shopee, right, is actually with regards to India banning the game. Okay, as mentioned earlier on, Free Fire is one of the most popular game that brings them the most money. Recently, India has actually banned them. Okay, ban, yeah, the monetization. So this is something that will definitely affect them. And in fact, they do agree that this is something that they are working on. They are working with the government to see things like that. So I would say that regulatory is also one of the biggest risks lah. All right. So if let's say they are able to resolve this, then I would say that overall, at a 70 over percent, I would say that it is definitely a good buy. But I would say right now, okay, if you look at the chart right now, okay, I don't think I will be able to share it. Let me see. Let me see if I am able to share the entire screen. Okay. Okay. Okay, actually, I also don't know whether you can see or not. Okay, let me remove it one more time. Hi. Share screen, share the entire screen. Okay, if you look at this one, okay, if you look at my screen, I believe you all can see it. Okay, so SE, can you see that right now? Okay, let's look at the day chart. It is still heading down. Okay, in fact, another thing that you want to look at, previously, I've actually drawn these two lines. Okay, I mentioned that, okay, if they can stabilize, then I would say that there's a potential that they could go sideways, then slowly recover. But right now, okay, unfortunately, the worst thing happened. So this is why it's important for us to take note. You see this thing happening. Let me just draw a cartoon over there. Can you see the candle? It has gone below. It has gone below, and right now it's even lower. The pre-market is even lower. So we could be looking at even more downside. Okay, even more downside. So now here's the good news. Okay, here's the good news. For those of you who are looking to buy, okay, let me just put my face. Oh, bit scary, All right. For those of you who are looking to buy into C Limited, okay, I think you have an opportunity to buy at an even better price. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the strategy itself. Should I buy share or should I buy options? At the current point of time, okay, if let's say yes, you believe that this is a good company of great value, okay, but you're not sure whether is it the lowest or not, but you feel that this is it's like, for example, you go for it's like you always buy eggs lah. Okay, let's say you're the one that is in charge of buying eggs at home. Okay, normally you buy is $2, $2, sometimes $2 to $2.50. This is the range that always happen. Then today, somehow or another, you go to the supermarket. The auntie say, hey, today the egg, suddenly the chicken lay a lot of egg, got discount, only 170. What will you do? Okay, by default, you know that it is cheaper than normal already. It is undervalued. So you will buy. Right. So in this case, if you want to buy it because it is undervalued, this is what I would recommend. Okay, I would recommend you to buy using share. So just buy the share and then sleep. Okay, just buy the share and then sleep and then forget about it lah. Okay, and just hold it for the long term. Now, if let's say you go and buy options, does it mean that it is a bad thing? It depends. Why? Because options has this thing called timing. Okay, so there's this thing called time decay. So if let's say your timing is wrong, what is going to happen is that let's say you bought it at 170, you bought an egg at 170, and after you buy, right, what the egg got discount, further discount, 150, and then become 140, become 130, right? So technically, right, I want you to imagine, do you have any loss or not? Normally you buy at $2, then you get eat the egg, you get all the protein and things like that. Okay, now you bought 170, you also eat the egg, so technically you don't lose anything, right? But because the price keep dropping, so if you're using options, right, you kind of lose money. Okay, you will actually kind of lose money. You have to hold it long enough for it to recover. So for options, right, usually we will always ride together with the trend. So if the trend is going down, we do not want to actually go against the trend. And people will ask me, so Borwen, can I go and short the market? Okay, again, for fundamentally strong company, how much lower can it go? There's a limit to how low it can go. Okay, and apparently that when it reaches a certain point, then it starts to recover very quickly. So sometimes if you go and short the company, and if you're not fast enough to take the profit, your profit can actually turn into losses as well. So that's why if you ask me, I would recommend for you, if you want to buy into C Limited using options, wait for the reversal. Wait for reversal. Definitely now is not the time to go in yet. So again, if you ask me, a lot of the stock that I'm actually looking at like in my watch list, right, is the same category lah. If you ask me, are they cheap? Answer is yes. If you ask me, can buy or not based on value, yes. Okay, but if you look at the trend, can buy or not? The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no, or rather, in many cases, it's still very much uncertain. So the questions for today is, should I buy stock or should I buy options? Okay, so based on current market situation, okay, the first answer is definitely buy stock will be better. Okay, but again, if you ask me, should I put all my money in right now? Okay, my advice is also no. Okay, slowly go in trenches, right? So you can have 3 trenches or even 4 trenches. Just put some money in, especially when you're still working. Okay, if you're still able to generate more income, even better. Every time you receive your income, set aside the money. Hey, now this company is cheap, go and buy. Okay, and when you buy, right, okay, I want you to actually tell yourself that this stock, I'm not going to sell it, okay, until I make at least, I don't know, it depends on your case, okay. But certain company, I think if you buy now, at least 300% before you sell it away. Okay, if possible, don't even sell it away unless the company fundamental has changed. Just hold it, just keep holding it. Okay, don't really matter. I mean, just hold it as long as possible. All right, this is for buying stocks. Now, if you're buying options, okay, doesn't mean that you can't buy options. The answer is you can also buy options. But what strategy to do options with? Actually, right now, I think now is a good time for you to do selling of options. Okay, selling of put options. For those of you who knows how to do selling of put options, now is actually a very good time because why? When you're selling put options, what is happening is that technically you don't mind buying the share at the first place. And because of the market volatility right now, if you look at the IV implied volatility, it is actually much higher than normal, which means that if you can sell a put now, you get additional buffer. So for example, today you want to buy a stock at, I don't know, maybe $100. You can sell a put at $95. Okay, and the premium that you collect is maybe another $5. So if let's say the price really drop, you realize that your cost price, instead of buying at 100 right now, you actually get to buy at $90. Why 90? Because 95 is the strike price that you get triggered that you have to buy at. And because your premium is $5, so minus it away, technically you are able to buy at an even cheaper price. Now, so that actually works quite well. And I have to say upfront is that for selling put options, the only downside is that the capital outlay is a little bit bigger. So for people without the huge capital outlay, if your capital is like less than 10K, less than 5K, right, then I would say to just buy share. Just buy some share, hold it there. If your capital is, 10, 20, or even 50K and above, you do allocate some portion, right, to sell put, generate the cash flow, it also reduces your average buying price. So this is what I would definitely recommend. If you're low in capital, just buy share in trenches. All right. If you're having huge capital, you can start accumulating selling put options as well. Now let me see what other okay, which means about 300. Okay, no lah. My dad didn't buy any groceries lah. He literally buy all the my fridge. Okay, my fridge at home is buy from Shopee one. Okay, my father handphone. Okay, Huawei, I think don't know what, Mate 30. It's about $2,000. Also buy from Shopee. So actually these two combined already $3,000. So confirm platinum member lah. Yeah. Okay, any questions so far? Any questions so far on the from you guys? All right, I want to hear from you guys. Do we have tutorial that teach sell put? Jamie, are you inside my online course or not? Are you inside my online course or not? My online course got teach step by step lah. Now very hard for me to teach step by step because if I show it now, you go and do it and you click wrongly, supposed to make money, in the end you lose money. Okay, yeah. But anyway, for those of you who are inside our community, the sell put video is already inside lah. Okay, you just need to go and find it. It's already inside. So if you are not inside our UI community, okay, and you want to learn sell put, I actually have got this online course, which is $97 lah. But if there's a lot of people who are interested, maybe I will just do a special price lah, okay, so that you guys can benefit from it. All right. Teachable, yes, yeah, it's inside the Teachable. Go and watch the Teachable. Yeah, insider also have also. How about buying put on QQQ as it seems like got more downward pressure? Technically you can do that lah. Okay, let me just take a look at QQQ. Yes, actually, if you ask me, right, yeah, we do see more downward pressure. So, the market could go down even further. Lah. But again, I have to tell you, okay, let me just share my screen again. Oh, you all can actually see my screen. Let me show my big screen. Okay, if you look at QQQ, the market right now, okay, let me show you. We are at, okay, y'all know we are at correction zone already. 10% is correction zone. Okay, now we are at 17%. Okay, 20% is jialat lah. 20% is already a correction. No, a recession lah. 20% is a recession. So I think we are very, very close to a potential recession. All right. Now is how fast is this recession going to recover? Okay. And I think this is always the biggest question. I mean, with a lot of things that's happening, we have the war happening, we have interest rate going up, we have rate hike going up, we have inflation going up. So we have a lot of things going on. In fact, if you look at it, so yeah, long. If you ask me, will you do that? You can put a small position, but this is not going to. I don't think this is going to make a lot of money, lah. Okay, but you can use it to hedge. When the market drop. This is for Jackson. How about Grab? If you ask me, right, Grab monetization model is a little bit different. I also know that they dropped quite a fair bit recently. All right, but honestly, I don't know how I don't know how strong they are. Okay, but this one I have to do a little bit of research. I have to admit that I haven't go in depth into Grab. Previously, when I look at their model, I'm like, wow, they are just burning cash. Okay, they are just trying to do a lot of acquisition, but they don't even have the plan to become profitable. But I think Grab has kind of diversified and now they have a lot of payment and things like that. So there could be actually potential in certain part of the business. But of course, very importantly, we have to look at, if you're looking at the quarterly statement, okay, like for example, if you look at Shopee, they actually tell you that when do you think they will potentially be profitable. I think fundamentally any business, right, they have to actually work, even if let's say today they are losing money, okay, they should be planning to tell you that, hey, 2 years later, based on our projection, I think we'll be profitable. All right, but if you look at the management, they just tell you that we're going to hit this number, we're going to look at how many subscriber, but they never tell you that they're going to be profitable. Then I think you have to be very, very careful. Okay. Yeah. So that to me is Grab. That to me is Grab. Okay, BBBY. What about BBBY? Anything special? Okay. Wow. Okay. Interesting. BBBY. All right. Wow. What happened to BBBY? Maybe CS, you can share with us a little bit about BBBY, because apparently this stock has jumped up 88%. 88% pre-market. 88% pre-market. Okay, how about Facebook going lower? Yeah, I think really, like I said previously, for Facebook, the uncertainty has actually increased, okay, as Apple started a ban on Facebook, followed by, I think, Google. Android is going to ban them as well. So Facebook is doing the transition into Meta, which again proved to be, going to be a challenge. Now, if you ask me, looking at the financial power of Facebook, I would say that they can do well. Okay, they are still pretty much financially healthy, right? But of course now the problem is in terms of the future growth now become a question mark. So remember, investors don't like uncertainty. Every time there's uncertainty, that's where the market will react the most. So once Facebook can offer, something that is of certain in terms of the growth moving forward, right? That's where you will start to see the stock going up a lot more. But in terms of the Meta, maybe it will take another half a year, 1 year, 2 years before things finalize. And I would say that with the current market situation going on, Facebook might actually go sideways or go down a little bit longer than normal. Any thoughts on Baba and Block? Let me just take a look. I think for Baba, Baba is the same thing. It's always Baba is okay. Let me show you all of you Baba so that we can take a look at Alibaba. So the BABA is actually pretty much similar to C Limited. You can see that previously it was going a little bit of a sideway, however, it has actually broken down. So once it broken down of the support, it could be going likely, highly likely it will go down even more. So I do see that for BABA, there could be more downside coming up. Okay, same for Square. Okay, same for Square. Okay, it's very uncertain as of now. You can't tell whether it's actually going upwards or not. Mm. So the only thing that you can actually take note is really this area lah. Okay, as you can see, now it's going down. So the next support will be back to this particular lowest point lah. If it goes below, then we could be looking at even more downside for Square. So this is something that we have to take note. Okay, BBBY, just because GME chairman reviewed a 10% stake in the retailer. Okay, wow. Just because of that, stock. Okay, high chance later market open 88% will drop. Maybe to the range of 30-40%. That's my take lah. Okay, that's my take. Okay, again, like I said, the pre-market, right? Okay, because the volume is smaller, so sometimes some of the bigger player, right, they actually can manipulate or it's easier to push the market higher, right, to create like false demand. Right, when the market open, they cannot play already because this is where the retailer will come in. There's more player in the market. So pre-market, sometimes we see the movement is a little bit bigger compared to when the market open. Oxy wise is actually oil and gas lah. So that depends on how much the oil can continue to go up further lah. Oxy. So I think this one is a little bit hard to predict lah. Why? Because this is very much dependent on oil price also lah. So as you can see, oil price is starting to drop lah. Okay, from 120 plus now it's about 116. So how much longer can it go up? I think this is the question. Historically, okay, when you actually look at oil price, when the oil price spike up, right, it doesn't last long. Okay, it doesn't last long. End of the day, we have to understand that oil is a demand and supply. It's not like a company where I make more and more money, the stock price keep going higher and higher. When oil price reach a certain price, it becomes so expensive that it doesn't make sense anymore. And usually by then, the whole market will also react negatively. So for example, right now, where oil price is 120, right, it has a huge impact in the overall, purchasing power of everything. In fact, everything is going to increase in prices because of oil price increase. Look, from the transportation cost to the manufacturing cost, everything, including our transport, right? So I would say that right now we are already at relatively high inflation. Together with this high oil price, we are looking at a potential, in some cases, people call it stagflation. Stagflation means that inflation is high, but the thing is not growing. The economy is not growing. Okay, because in the past, okay, high inflation is usually coupled together with when the market is growing. It's like a new economy. Okay, when you have a new economy, everything is growing. That's where you have high inflation. Okay, that's very normal. But right now, what we are looking at is a little bit like a stagflation. You can just go and Google stagflation. All right, so stagflation happens when inflation is high, but the economy is not growing. Now, is this good or bad? Okay, I would say overall it's definitely bad lah. Okay, it is something that economists are trying to avoid. High inflation and negative growth or even neutral growth. So, as much as possible, I would say that the government, they will try to avoid this because fundamentally, when things are bad, people get unemployed. The place become messier. There's a lot of riot and things like that where people don't have the purchasing power. So I would say that right now, the U.S. government is again forced to a corner lah. Okay, kind of forced to a corner. It's like if I don't help, also cannot. If I help, then I'm going to increase more debt. Right. So I would say that let's see what the U.S. Federal is going to do. Okay, in the midst of the war, in the midst of high oil price, in the midst of high inflation, are they still going to increase interest rate, or are they going to increase interest rate at the same time? Are they going to pump in more money to distribute out? Since they have already printed so much, what is stopping them from continue to print? Okay, yeah. So I think when the Fed, if let's say they do announce even more, monetary policy to continue to print, that's where we could be looking at a potential reversal. Okay, a potential reversal. Everything increased except my salary. Yeah, I think this is really, really true. Right. So I think I've also seen some of my friends. They have actually done certain posting and saying that nowadays if you're not investing into asset, holding cash now could be one of the worst things that can happen in current situation. Whereby especially for those of you who have with asset, for example, like you have a HDB, you have a condo, you realize that every asset class is increasing in value. All right, including even cars itself. Right. Despite the high oil price, COE is at all-time high. Why? It's because of inflation, right? And I think right now it is not just normal inflation. We are looking at something a little bit way bigger and way more serious. So that puts back to the attention. I would say that we have to start investing into asset. Now the thing is, what asset to invest in? Is it real estate? Is it the stock market? Is it the crypto market? Right, I think this is where you have to understand what is overvalued and what is undervalued. So if you ask me, I do see that there's actually opportunity in the stock market right now, all right, because of the massive drop in some of the big company. But very importantly, like I said, you have to set aside money that you can afford to lose. Okay, these are money that, for example, right now, because of the market situation, make sure that you have your emergency reserve already set aside. Okay. If you don't have the emergency reserve, don't go and say, hey, I'm going to use my emergency reserve, throw everything into the stock market. Hopefully that I'm going to make a lot of money out of it. I can tell you that is very irresponsible and it's very dangerous as well. So this is why I would say that make sure that you set aside your reserve. For those of you who have not set aside your reserve, okay, I would highly encourage you to do it because honestly, for the next 3 to 6 months, anything can happen. Singapore could go into a recession, and this could also drag on for a fair period of time. Right. So let's see what happened. Hopefully it doesn't affect any of the job. It doesn't affect employment much. Right. But if it does happen, I think very important is to make sure that there's still food on the table. If there's any excess, okay, if you manage to save up even more, have any excess, I do encourage you to start putting your money into assets, into different kind of assets. Right. So I would say stock is definitely one of it. And if you do not want to actually worry so much, then just simply buy the share. Just simply buy share and just hold it on. Malaysian property is kind of stagnant. Yeah, Malaysian property is also, I think, partly due to demand and supply. All right, demand and supply. Singapore, why Singapore prices has gone up? Partly also because of the rental demand, right? All the Malaysian, they are in Singapore, so they had to find a place that increased the demand. And supply is also restricted because of what? Because of the COVID. A lot of the development, a lot of the new projects are being delayed, a lot of the BTO are being delayed. So in Singapore, we have like we have a squeeze, okay, where supply actually reduced and the demand actually went up. So that resulted, I think HDB is one of the, it has gone up quite a fair bit over the last 1 to 2 years, right? Same for a lot of other asset classes. So will this continue? I think this is the question that's going on in our mind. But personally, I'm not a property expert. I'm not a car COE analysis. So if you just look at the stock market, I do see that there's opportunity. Now, the thing is whether are you able to time it properly, right? If you are new to this, I would highly encourage you to just simply buy share and just hold it on. And if you ask me what is the one company that if I were to invest, if I don't know anything, what is the one company that I will invest? I would actually say that, I think right now, especially with the high oil price, I do highly recommend you to go into like company like Tesla. I think at current price, it is pretty attractive. Okay, at about 800 plus. Now it's about 847 at about 800 over dollars, right? So I would say that Tesla will actually perform well, especially after this oil spike. Okay, after this oil spike, people will start to appreciate electric vehicle even more. Right, I think in Singapore, people already start to face it oil prices at $2, $2 per liter. That is going to have a huge impact in a lot of our people lifestyle. So yeah, I think if you ask me, just to summarize what I've actually discussed for today, if you are going into stocks, if you're going into the market, I would highly encourage right now to set aside 3 or 4 tranches, start going using shares, buy share. If you want going into options, you can actually consider selling options. But fundamentally, it's always the same. Go for companies that is fundamentally strong. Go for companies that are relatively undervalued at the current point of time, and then simply hold it for long term, right? So I would say that after this whole recession, after this whole crisis, definitely, I can almost tell you 100% the market will continue to go up even higher. So now it's really, if you have the holding power, if you have the capacity, if you have the cash reserve, if you buy it now during this period of time, right? And of course, subsequently, like when it drop even more, you continue to buy, right? This is where you will be able to make a huge profit lah. Okay, but again, you have to hold it. How long do you have to hold it? Maybe at the fastest 1 to 2 years. All right, and in some cases maybe 4 to 5 years. So just make sure that you have the holding power to hold it. Options wise, if you want to do a buying call or buying put, I would recommend buying call, but that one you have to wait. Not recommended right now. Okay, not recommended right now. Need to rob a bank for cash. Yes. Yeah, maybe you can go to Ukraine. Yes, nice. Can take a look at clean energy. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, I think this is going to have a spotlight. Okay, and I think just today, I actually saw one of the articles, right, that talk about windmill. Okay, I'm sure we have heard of windmill, right? Let me see if I can actually find. Wow, this is very interesting. I have not done any research yet, lah. Okay, but what happened is that there is actually this windmill that don't have the propeller one. Okay, windmill without propeller. Let me see if I can without turbine lah. Let me see if I can actually find it for you. Yes. Let me show it to all of you. Very interesting one. Very interesting. So if you look at this one, the future of wind turbine. Okay, this is actually bladeless. So how it works is basically through kinetic energy. Okay, it's called vortex lah. But let me just share with you. Let me show you the picture. So it's basically just a tube lah. So what happens is that when the wind blow, it will actually shake lah, and this shaking momentum will actually create energy, right? So I think this is number one, a lot easier to implement, okay, as compared to the big turbine, and the maintenance cost is also a lot lower. Technically, you can put it in many places. Okay, it doesn't have to be that huge. In fact, if you have landed, for example, instead of solar panel, you can also put this. It's like a small. They have small size of solar, so it's a small size that just keeps shaking and then create energy. So I think this will also be a replace of the traditional windmill, okay, which is using wind. This is also using wind, except that the technology is different. I do see that this one is actually quite a good potential, all right, in the clean energy area. So I think you guys can actually take a look at, maybe what are the companies that are actually creating this. And of course, I think for Singapore, we might not be familiar, but actually in a lot of other countries, windmill is still, I think, one of the largest clean energy, clean resources, including hydro. Okay, including hydro as well. Then solar is actually, I think, coming up third lah. So of course, solar is catching up because of technology. They can make it cheaper. But again, this one, if let's say this is a new technology, I think it can also make things even more easier to implement, right? So yeah, let's take a look. I think there are a lot of good opportunity out there. Yes, RIVN. This is what? This is Rivian. Okay. Yeah. Dyson vibrating stick. Yes. Yi Yang is right. I don't know whether is it the correct term, but sounds interesting. Yeah, vibrating stick. So I think, yeah, now is a good time for us to do a little bit more research. Okay. So for those of you who are in the stock market, okay, don't worry, don't need to keep looking at the stock market. Nothing to buy, don't buy lah. Okay. Now is the best time to start looking at good stock, good opportunity, and then find ways to generate money lah. Okay, find ways to generate money. All right. With that, that basically comes to my end of my session tonight, right? And yes, before I let you guys go off, right? So tomorrow, okay, for those of you who have not joined our community yet, I will be doing a 1.5 hour sharing session tomorrow night as well, from 8 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. So link will be provided in the Telegram. So if let's say you want to actually find out more about how you can generate, cash flow, right, and how to invest in the stock market using the UI method, then you can join us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. sharp. All right, with that, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. And next week, okay, I want to do a little bit more research onto company. So I'll probably do share a few more company for next week as well. All right, with that, take care, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.